We are excited to welcome you to our June Northwoods Financial Series session. Every month, Park City Credit Union is hosting a free educational session. My name is Lisa Krautkramer. I am a member of the Park City marketing team, and I will be your moderator. And I'm excited to introduce to you our presenter, Kurt Powers.
Thank you, Lisa.
Well, thank you, Kurt, and we'll give Kurt a little bit of an introduction here. Kurt Powers is a financial professional and rollover and savings representative with the Park City Investment Center. Park City Credit Union has partnered with Park City Investments for over 10 years. They have the same philosophy and values as we do at Park City Credit Union, which makes us great partners. So welcome again, Kurt, and we are so glad to have you here today with us for our Northwoods Financial Series session.
Thank you very much. So I will start sharing my screen here. Let's see if that came up. Yes, and so my name is Kurt Powers, and I am 1/3 of the investment team here at Park City Credit Union, along with Jeff Konechny and Ryan Powers, and we're going to be talking about how to be setting up 401ks, IRAs, retirement plans, and what to be doing with those as we go through our lives. So with no further ado, we're going to get started here. I do need to disclose that we utilize Packerland Brokerage Services as our broker-dealer to clear the products and services that are not credit union related. So out of Green Bay, Wisconsin, the products that are not credit union products are not NCUA insured, nor affiliated directly with Park City Credit Union or any government agency, nor guaranteed. This is an informational only meeting. We're talking in generalities, not about any specific product nor company. So again, general information for your knowledge. So when we're talking about IRAs or Roth IRAs, for the year 2021 and previously for 2020, the maximum that you can be placing into an IRA or a Roth IRA is $6,000. And if you are over the age of 50, you can add an extra $1,000 per the catch-up provision. Why would you place money into a traditional IRA? Depending upon your tax filing status and looking at your modified adjusted gross income and the retirement plans that you have, you may be eligible to deduct the money that you're investing into a traditional IRA off of your taxes. And then this money grows tax deferred, which means you do not have to pay tax on your gains or your earnings until you draw out the money once you are in retirement. Usually these are set up to be deferred until at least the age 59 and a half for retirement purposes. Now, what is the difference between a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA? A traditional IRA, as I said, had a deduction when you go in, and the money grows tax deferred, and you don't have to pay tax until you draw out the money in retirement. The difference between that and a Roth IRA is, depending on your income, the contributions into a Roth IRA are not deductible, but they can be made at any age as long as you have earned income. And the huge benefit on the bottom of the screen is that whatever you have made as a contribution can always be removed tax-free and penalty-free from the account. And then the earnings on the qualified distributions are tax-free and penalty-free. You never have to take out a required minimum distribution, which is mandatory on traditional IRAs. And you can make contributions as long as you continue to earn income without any age limitation. So if you are going to be putting money into traditional or Roth IRAs, or you have money from a current IRA or a retirement plan, what can these be invested in? And at Park City Credit Union's Investment Center, we talk about the ABCs of money, where A is a cash position, B is insurance or annuities, and C is the market. As you see on the screen, each one of these positions has quite a few different things. The cash can be in bank assets, credit union assets, CDs, savings accounts, money markets, many different safe products. The protected growth or the annuities are insurance products, basically fixed or fixed indexed annuities. And then on the far right is the risk growth or the market position, which is mutual funds, stocks, bonds, real estate investment trusts, managed money. There's a whole myriad of products within the market. Each of these have things that are positive, and there is no such thing as a perfect investment, so there are negatives also. So we apply gains, liquidity, and protection to each position of money. And when we're looking at cash, that is very good for liquidity and safety, but interest rates have been low for about a decade, so it is not so good at gains. Annuities or protected growth insurance products are great for protection and gains, but your money is at an insurance company for a while, so it is not 100% liquid. And the market is the best place for gains, and depending on your holdings can be liquid, but the negative is there is no protection from market downturn. So we apply these aspects when we're talking to a member about where to be placing their hard-earned IRA or Roth IRA or retirement plan monies. I'm going to now break down those three positions of money a little bit further. The cash position, the positives are it is safe. In a credit union, the National Credit Union Association guarantees the money up to $250,000. It is a great place for liquid money and an emergency fund. If something would happen to your car or you needed your air conditioning replaced, it's a great place to have liquid, safe and sound money to draw upon. What are the downturns or cons of cash? Right now there is little gain potential because interest rates have been very low, and it is difficult to live off of that current interest. Moving on to the second position of money, or the protected growth annuities. We work with fixed indexed annuities, which are offered by insurance companies. It is a fixed annuity which is guaranteed, but the returns are linked to the performance of a stock index, commonly the Standard & Poor's 500, the Dow Jones, or we can work with some proprietary indexes. You are able to capture a portion of the stock market gains when the market goes up, and there are uncapped versions which have a percentage of the market no matter how high it does go up, but all the while the principal is guaranteed, and every year or two the gains also lock in and are also guaranteed to not go down. A quick illustration shows that the red line is the Standard & Poor's 500 since 1998, which goes up and then down and then up and then down and then very recently up. Fixed indexed annuities earn a part of that as I change the green line to blue, showing you some positives in the late 90s. Then in the year 2000 to 2002, the market went down dramatically. These products did not lose any money. And then from 2002 to 2007, when the market went back up, these products had gains upon their previous gains. Between 2007 and 2009, the market went down 50%. These types of products did not lose any money. And then over the last decade, the market has basically been up, and these types of products shared in those gains. So it is a decent middle position of money, which is safe, allowing moderate gains as well. So moving on to the third position of money, or the market, the pros of the market are the highest gain potential. The money is mostly liquid. There is a long-term track record of positive returns in the market, and depending on your holdings, the market may be tax advantaged. What is the downside of the market? Their money can be lost in the market. There is market risk. And the market may be down when you need to access your money the most. We can work with stocks, bonds, mutual funds, a multitude of different products. When we're helping people invest in IRAs, we often work with mutual funds because you can invest in a mutual fund in hundreds of different companies of stock or bonds with only a few $100s. it is difficult to afford to, on your own, invest to 200 or 300 different companies, but in a mutual fund, you buy a share, which pools your money with other investors with similar investment ideas and makes it much more affordable to spread your money out or diversify over different investment opportunities. So we help young people with preparing for retirement by starting out with IRAs and Roth IRAs, but we also help people who are nearing retirement with looking at a checklist for retiring, where we look at their assets, their income, how much they expect to need in retirement, whether that's coming from Social Security, work-sponsored plans, pensions, IRAs, or non-IRAs. We look at a member's debt and the time frame of when they're going to retire. We then look at an action plan, pick the date for when the member wants to retire, help them to decide whether to increase their savings or catch-up contributions on their IRAs, Roth IRAs, or work-sponsored retirement plans, or should they pay down or off their debt. And we talk to people about rebalancing. Is it time to work for preservation versus going for max accumulation as you are getting very close to retirement? We discuss when to take out Social Security, and we review life insurance and estate plans at this time. Then, when we have a member who's already retired, or maybe they've left the job in the past and they have a work-sponsored plan that is orphaned and able to be moved to a different place, we go through and ask the questions of, should you leave it or roll it? How should the money be invested? When the member wants to take the distributions and how much? And how can you pass your money on wisely? Every situation is different, and we need to do what's in the best of interest of each client. But usually, 8 out of 10 times, gaining control and rolling the money over to a self-directed IRA is the best idea because it offers many more investment options, much more flexibility for planning, and many more income options. If we're going to recommend a rollover, what products are available to roll a retirement plan over into? Well, the same ABCs of money. You may roll over a retirement plan into an IRA in cash accounts at Park City Credit Union in checking, savings, CDs, or money markets. You can roll that into fixed annuities or fixed indexed annuities. You can also roll it over into mutual funds, bonds, or stocks. We are very proud that between the Park City Credit Union's Investment Center and Park City Credit Union, we are able to work with all three, the cash accounts, the annuities, and all of the market money. We find this very beneficial because some of our clients are more conservative, some are more risk available, and so then they're going to want different types of investments, and we are able to offer any and all of these between Park City Credit Union and Park City Credit Union's Investment Center. Distributions out of IRAs or retirement plans. When do you start these? You're supposed to wait until the age of 59 and a half. Last year, the CARES Act changed that required minimum distributions need to be started at age 72. But we often help people with planning for those distributions somewhere between 59 and a half and 72. And we help people manage their payout versus going through maximum accumulation by using some of the A position in the credit union and the B position in annuities to help with guaranteed income and income with certainty. Legacy planning. In the state of Wisconsin, if you have an IRA or a work-sponsored retirement plan, it goes to the spouse in a marital property state in most of the situations without taxation. But when the money is going to be left for children, grandchildren, or non-spousal IRAs, we need to talk about tax-efficient planning. We can do that, and we also discuss guaranteed death benefit products. Balancing and rebalancing. if, for instance, we have a member who had put half of their money in cash 10 years ago and half of their money in the market, over the last decade, cash has averaged 1% or less per year, so that money would be up about 10%. The market may have doubled over the last decade, so somebody who wanted to have an equal allocation would have much more money in the market than in cash. Rebalancing is moving some of that market money to either the A position, the B position, or part of both to have the money be much more safe so that it is not open to if there's going to be a market downturn. What are some solutions if I have questions about what to be doing with my hard-earned money? We use the ABCs of money to help people arrive at the best allocation for their portfolio and then help them stay in balance with rebalancing. We look at the ABCs of money, and in cash, we help manage credit union and cash accounts wisely. If all of somebody's money is in low-earning cash accounts, maybe we should be looking at CDs or savings accounts that might have higher amounts of interest. At the credit union, Park City offers CASASA accounts. You could come in and speak to any member services representative about what the requirements are and how that can help out with a 3% interest rate returning on the first $10,000 in a CASASA account. We sometimes utilize fixed annuities with a guaranteed rate for a period of time as a portion of the A position of money. Sometimes we recommend, once there's enough money for 3 to 6 months worth of expenses in an emergency account, to move some of that safe money to a fixed indexed annuity, which is just as safe with improved moderate return potential. We look at if there is too much money in too conservative of a place, how to safely add more gain potential by rebalancing some of that money, or if on the right-hand side of the screen there's too much in the market, rebalancing some of that market money back to a safer place to protect it for potential market downturns. We also help people manage their market money. We can look at bond funds, growth funds, dividend-paying funds, and a balanced allocation of mutual funds. Many of our members have asked to move some of that market money to the bank or cash position or to the protected growth annuity position for balance due to volatility recently in the market. Who are we able to help out at the Park City Credit Union? Basically, anybody with IRAs, CDs, mutual funds or stocks, brokerage accounts, current or old annuities, or any retirement plans such as 401ks, 403bs, or 457 plans. If you want to come and discuss your portfolio with us and potential options, you can bring in any recent statements for your IRAs, 401ks, current or maturing annuities, mutual funds, and stocks, and brokerage accounts and CDs also. So that is the basics of our discussion here today. Lisa, can you get us back over to our contact information and ask if anybody has any questions to either ask us directly or send over via typing it in?
Well, first off, Kurt, I just want to say thank you so much for, again, joining our Northwest Financial Series today. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Every time I watch one of your presentations, I learn something new. I feel like there's always something new to be learning in the world of investing. So thank you again. And I know this is a pretty highly, I don't know if it's a requested topic, but one that we hear about at the credit union. Often we get members that ask us, about IRAs and, should I be doing a Roth IRA? Should I be doing a regular IRA? What's the difference? I know this is certainly helpful to a few different people. So we'll bring up Kurt's contact information in just a moment here. We are at the Q&A session of the presentation. So if anyone has a question that they would like Kurt to answer, you can feel free to put that into the chat box. You mentioned that, under the CARES Act, the required distributions, that changed. Are there any other big things in the investing world that, changed within the last year because of COVID or, legislation related to COVID?
Obviously, there have been stimulus payments that have gone out, multiple different situations of money going out, and a couple of different taxable things, and taxes are going to be changing quite a few. But basically what we recommend is if a member has a question, come on in, talk with any of us. We're going to show the general phone number at Park City, but you can ask for Jeff Konechny, Ryan Powers, or myself, Kurt Powers, and we'd be glad to talk over the phone, sit down at any one of our 4 offices, or meet at your place of residence or work to go through any of the specific questions that you would have pertaining to your own situation.
Thank you for that, Kurt. I know another topic, if you have been following the news within the past few months, has been inflation. So for members that are, concerned about inflation, what would you share with them right now?
Yep. The Federal Reserve 2 weeks ago met. They did not raise interest rates, but they said that inflation appears that it's going to be going up quite a bit. So when inflation goes up, often interest rates do go up. So we should look for some trickle up in interest rates on savings or checking. But again, through some of our research, we don't think that's going to go up too dramatically high. One concern is sometimes that if interest rates do go up, the market could take a downturn. We are at an all-time high in the market. It would be a really good time to come talk with a financial advisor about your market money, anything that might be directly in individual stocks, mutual funds, a brokerage account, or a retirement plan, and we could talk about rebalancing due to potential future volatility in the market.
Thank you for tackling that. I know this is a hot topic right now, inflation, and there's a lot of concerns and uncertainty. So thank you for talking about that. I want to ask, because sometimes we speak with members who, are in their late 40s, early 50s, and say, I have some money set aside, but I really haven't gotten serious about planning for retirement yet. What would you say to these folks, and can you help them out?
Yep. As we kind of went through a checklist previously, we talked to members about how to handle what their debt is going to be in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years when they're going to retire to make it more manageable. We then also talk about catching up on if there is not enough money in retirement, making sure that in a 401k the matching is at least put in, so the free money coming back from a 401k is good. Should we be looking at IRAs or Roth Iras to catch up a little bit? Also non-IRA money to make sure there's liquid money that is put aside, and look at a budget possibly to reduce spending to put away more money so that there is enough so that there can be retirement at a decent age and still be comfort in retirement.
And I know before, too, you were talking about, the mix and how you have the ABCs and these different options for what you want to do with your money. I just want to say thank you for giving a shout out for emergency funds. I know, I think especially during the pandemic that, made some of us realize, oh, wow, if I were to lose my job or, have an unexpected car repair right now, how would I pay for that? So of course, thank you for sharing that. We, certainly encourage all of our members to be, looking into emergency funds and accounts like that.
Working in and for a credit union, unlike some other advisors who are often putting the majority of the money in the market, we are very understanding and sympathetic that when things do come up, people do come running to their financial institution looking for that money. And so for 26 years, I've done this long enough that I know that people do have things come up and want to get to that. So we do incorporate the cash accounts at Park City as a part of our planning process.
All right, so I'm not seeing any questions in the chat. Kurt, is there anything you'd like to share before we wrap up today?
Again, don't be afraid to reach out and talk to a financial advisor about your hard-earned money. This is what we do for a living. There are 3 of us here available between our 4 branches. Don't be afraid. There's no such thing as a silly question. Come in. We'd be glad to go through anything. It's not too late to start or catch up. But a lot of people say, I wish I didn't wait so long. So whenever point you're at, come on in and talk about that. We do talk to post-retirees and often help them rebalance their money into a proper position, whether it's not keeping up with inflation because it's too conservative, or if it's too at risk, bringing it back to a safer place. So that's a good point to wrap up with.
Well, thank you again, Kurt, so much for joining our Northwoods Financial Series. And I want to thank all of you for attending today's session. Our next session will be taking place in July, so stay tuned to the Park City website and our social media as we release more details about that session. So thank you again for attending, and we hope everyone has a great day.